Well, Dad got the tractor and planter stuck. The only tractor we got back here at home is the 4640. We haven't used this one yet this spring, so let's go see if we can get him pulled out with it. So for those of you that are new to the channel, this was my grandpa's tractor. This was considered his big tractor, and he done all his tillage work with it. And Dad and I ended up buying it from him when he retired from farming. And I planted beans with it for several years, pulled the 30-foot Henniker air seeder with it. And the reason I got started pulling that air seeder with it was because the oil pump gear on the shaft spun in the 4955, and it lost oil pressure when I was planting with it. So we actually took the lowboy out in the field, got the 4955, put it on the lowboy, brought it home, swapped out the oil pump in it. But so I could keep planting beans, we got the 4640 and put it on the air seeder. Well, it was a good fit for it, and it worked out real well. So after we ended up buying it, after Grandpa retired, we just left it on the air seeder. Well, then after I sold the air seeder and got the 1780 bean planter, this tractor worked well to pull that bean planter, but the bean planter was just too heavy for it in the tilled ground. So if you stayed on no-till, you were okay with it, but in tilled ground it was kind of a problem. Well, then this year it was so wet that I just left the 1780 behind the 9300, and the 4640 is just kind of sat in hibernation this spring. We really haven't used it. So this will work good to get it out, stretch its legs a little bit, and run it for a while. So Dad's right up here. He's in a pretty low spot. He thought he could get it planted. He got part of it planted, but once he got down there, it was kind of a no-go. So the 4640 and getting the tractor and planter out was unsuccessful. So we decided that we're gonna go get the 8650. I'm gonna run the disc home, gonna unhook it. I grab my tripod so I can put my camera up. I didn't have my tripod with me to put my camera on when we tried with the 4640. I didn't actually have any sort of phone holder in that tractor. Kind of rookie mistake on my end. I should have grabbed one before I left the shop. So let's go try it with this tractor and see what we can do. Let's give this another try. If not, we'll have to get my Uncle Doug to come help us. Have him run the 4640. Oh boy. Definitely got water. Well, I know what spot's gonna get get some sand hauled in it. Right there. And some tile. He's gonna try to plant some more of it. Kids these days. Planter for messing around with this stuff. Oh yeah, the belt's squealing on the tractor as it needs a fan belt replaced because one broke yesterday, so it's only running on one fan belt right now instead of two. He made it through that pass. I think this was an existing hole. This is another one of them holes that it's hit or miss if you're gonna plant it. Scooter stopped and helped us. Thank you, Scooter. Scooter done the video work for me. Worked out perfect, didn't have to use tripod. See if he makes it through this one. The problem with this spot is you just can't get good drainage on it because it's such a low spot. I have cleaned the ditch a couple of times and it did help, but not for very long. It's muck, it's soft. And with the amount of rain that we've been having, I'm surprised he's getting it over this well. At least we were done with the 8650 on the disc, so now it can stay off of it and get washed up and cleaned up. It's got a lot of mud packed in it after George got it stuck the other day. 49's gonna need a good bath too. We're gonna give them a good bath and a good waxing. They're due for it. Well, a little higher gear and a little soft. Takes a lot to shove that 16-row planter uphill in the muck because there's a ridge right there. That worked out perfect, went right around that surface drain. I'll pick up that marker pipe that's laying there. Should be standing up, the wind must blow it over. All right, this is all planted. It'll be fun to pick this fall, that's for sure. Oh, I think he's gonna go over there on that side of the ditch. Let's go watch over there. Watch the water move in the ditch. You can barely see it. I can see it, but I don't know if you can see it on camera. So this farm was one of our bean farms last year, and we just no-tilled right into the bean stubble. That's why it looks so hairy and so weedy. Darn it. I'll go get the tractor. Got him out of there. I'm gonna try to plant the rest of that. He should be okay now. That is definitely where a sprayer has been stuck before. And I had a combine stuck once there too. He thought that he was gonna glide right on over it, but it said, no, you're not. So this brings up a interesting topic. This is peat moss. This is what peat moss looks like. This is what's under the muck. So as you can see, it looks like a bunch of leaves and grass compacted. Can't talk. Compacted is what I'm trying to say. That is peat moss right there. And if you dry that out, you can actually burn that for heat in your house. But they actually cut this stuff out of peat moss bogs. And there are peat moss bogs around here where they harvest it and they dry it and they bag it for potting soil. It kind of look like that hole so deep over there is a little Chinese boy making Nikes. Maybe not. That was a pretty deep hole. Definitely down in the peat moss there. Surprised we don't see any woolly mammoth bones or tusks. Did find a woolly mammoth femur bone one time. Back when we worked for my uncle. It was caught on one of the shovels on the soil finisher. Thought it was a chunk of wood. It was broke. Took it back to the shop, and I said, don't look like a chunk of wood. So we started pressure washing it, and where it was broke, it was like hollow inside, and it looked like a snapped bone. Well, here it come to find out, it was a woolly mammoth femur bone. And then what happened years and years ago, the mammoth had got down in the muck and got stuck and broke his leg trying to get out. Well, his or hers, whatever it was, male or female. And they claim that some other predator came along and actually drug off the rest of the body of the mammoth, because they didn't find all of it when they done an archaeological dig. So kind of interesting. I have actually seen a mammoth bone outside of a museum. They never found its skull and they never found its tusks, but they did find another animal that was like buried with it. So that was kind of interesting. Alright, looks like Dad needs to move some seed around. So, if you're wondering, when I pulled him out that second time, I had accidentally put the tractor in B2 instead of B1 when I took off. That's why it was lugging so hard. I caught it and slapped it back over to B1 and we took off. So that was kind of my fault. Well, the guy's corn moved around. Should be able to finish this up. more we get planted, the more bushels we can harvest in the fall. So it's definitely worth getting this planted if we can. This is actually some pretty good ground right here. It produces pretty well because it stays fairly wet in July and August. So it's worth getting it planted. I know some of you are probably saying, oh, you're doing nothing but mudding that tractor and that planter up. Well, you gotta do what it takes to do it. You can't be afraid. It's what they make pressure washers for. It all washes off. Yeah, this year is definitely not an ideal year for planting this spring, but hey, just gotta embrace the suck and do it. Make it happen. The 3-point hitch up high like he's doing right now, that definitely helps planting in the muck. It definitely helps. Makes all the difference in the world. Normally you don't keep the 3-point that high, but that transfers a little more weight to the tractor and tips them row units back a little more and kind of helps them glide right over the ground, puts a little more weight on the tractor. It just makes the planter pull a little easier. Alright, so this means corn planting for 2024 is officially over. We are done with corn. All done. Alright, I'm going to head back to the road with the 8650. I don't know where he's going. He might have a small spot back there he wants to spot in. But corn is done. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all the comments, questions. And we're going to start doing some spraying now. I know a lot of you have wanted to see the Wilmar in action, and that's coming real soon. So we'll probably do some spraying next week. So continue to watch, and I'll continue to make videos. So thank you, and see you all in the next one.